UFC 310 is officially over, and your UFC flyweight champion, Alexandre Pantoja, remains the champion. He defeats Kai Asakura in the second round due to submission. This fight was insane. Pantoja is one of the greats. I hate to be that guy already, and I'm not trying to say, oh, he could pass Demetrius Johnson. I'm not saying that. But I've never seen a boring fight with Pantoja in it. I've never watched Pantoja and thought, wow, he needs to do something right now. He is boring. I have never seen Pantoja do something where I thought he is not good or he is not legit. Pantoja is the truest example of Bushido. He is what a fighter is. He is a warrior. He is the best fighter to show a representation of MMA skills and display it to people and execute them skills. Alexandre Pantoja reminds me of Jose Aldo. He marches you down. He hits you with leg kicks, big body shots, overhands. He'll occasionally throw like a knee up the middle or a spinning back kick, but he is very technical, and he's marching you down, and he's looking to clinch with you or sweep you, get to your back, and choke you out, and that's exactly what he did in this fight. I cannot stress this enough. Alexandre Pantoja might be one of the best representations of what an MMA fighter is, all around skill, from takedowns to striking to toughness to spirit to finishes. He can execute everything well. Yes, he gets hit a lot. Yes, he's been into wars. Yes, he's 35 years old, but he still gets it done. He still executes, and he still finds a way to win. Kai Asakura, I don't want anybody to take anything away from him either. Very good fighter. UFC debuted. Throws a flying knee in the first 10 seconds. Wild. But he just isn't going to do anything to win the fight, right? Kai Asakura is going to throw these explosive movements or strikes to surprise his opponent and catch him like that. Whether it's a flying knee, a spinning back kick, a spinning back fist, whatever, or he'll just stand there and just explode at you with a 1-2 uppercut, right? Or he's going to step back and blitz forward with a 2, right? Kai Asakura isn't like building up with things, right? He's not throwing multiple jabs, setting up leg kicks, and then finds a way. He is just exploding something at you and expecting you to get caught, right? And that is very, very dangerous and hard to fight against because you don't necessarily can read or know what's going on, right? It's someone who does something sporadic. It can be very unsafe. And Alexandre Pantoja showed his skill, showed what it was, what it's like being a fighter who can fight someone pretty much on the whim, right? This was a pretty short notice fight. I think maybe 6 weeks. And you're fighting someone that hasn't been in the UFC, doesn't have much tape against anybody that's in the UFC besides Manuel Kopp. And Pantoja proved people wrong. I thought he looked good. I think he is really making his way in the UFC and putting his name out there. He's kind of like an Oliveira or a Jose Aldo in the sense of like he's this guy that is very exciting to watch, but may not be in other people's eyes like the best of the best right now or like one of the greats, but they are, right? Not many people look at Oliveira and can think like, oh, he's one of the greats. They just look at exciting fighter, but they look at Islam as one of the greats, right? Because he's a current champion. But my point is Pantoja is in that line where he's very dangerous and he's been putting himself in a great situation where he's got great wins and he's cleaning out the division where it's like you really don't know what's next for him. I think Pantoja and Kai Kara France would be a great fight. I would love to see that. I don't really want to see a rematch with Royval or Moreno. Maybe you do Alexandre Pantoja and Amir Albazi, right? But Amir Albazi just lost to Brandon Moreno, so you can't really make that make sense, right? But Steve Erceg was ranked like 10th or 11th and fought Pantoja, so they could do it. But Kai Asakura, I would love to see him fight Brandon Moreno, set that up. This was a great fight. I think Pantoja is really setting himself up to be one of the greats, and if he can get a couple more title defenses, let's say 2 more, and then he'll have 5, he should be in the conversation for like pound for pound best fighter, like top 4 or 5, right? He shouldn't be anything lower than that. I think Pantoja is one of the greats, and right now he's really proven himself to be a top 3 flyweight of all time, just with his resume, right? In the co-main event, Shavkat Rakhmonov defeated Garry. I thought Shavkat was going to go in there and completely eliminate Ian Garry, if I had to be honest. I really expected him to implement his grappling early on, first or second round, try and find the mounts or put Ian Garry on his back in some way, and then start to implement his long frame to catch Ian Garry either in an arm bar, maybe in a head arm choke, or something in that nature. That's what I was thinking was going to happen, and it wasn't. And I will have to say this. I see a lot of people talking about, oh, Shavkat isn't that good. He's going to lose to Belal now. He wouldn't beat Chimaev, all these things. I don't think you can look at Shavkat right now and think, oh, he's not going to be that good. Or like, wow, he had a close fight with Ian Garry. Obviously, Belal would beat Shavkat now. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, Ian Garry has really proven he is legit. He is, like, up there now in the welterweights. Like, yeah, he might be ranked 7th, but he gave Shavkat Rakhmonov, one of the best tests he's ever had. If Ian Garry can get another fight under him soon, maybe Kamaru Usman or JDM or Sean Brady, I think he can really show that, like, this wasn't just a one-fight wonder or miracle. Ian Garry showed his defensive grappling and striking really well in this fight, keeping at range. Shavkat couldn't really do much. He was trying to get in, trying to land big body shots, big headshots, but that was about it. Shavkat didn't throw any leg kicks to Ian Garry. He barely threw body shots. He did throw a couple, but not many. But he was headhunting the entire time, and Ian Garry was winning the fight, right? Although Shavkat won a decision win, right? I thought it was a lot closer than a 3-2 fight, right? Shavkat won 3 rounds. Ian Garry won 2, but I think it was even closer than that. For a minute, I was like, wow, this could end up being a tie somehow. Like, it just seemed very, very close. But in the 5th round, Ian Garry gets Shavkat Rakhmonov in a rear naked choke. Very close, I thought it was close to being done. Shavkat got out of it somehow, but I don't think you can look at this fight and think, oh, wow, Rakhmonov, he's fallen off. Ian Garry displayed really good defensive striking and grappling, right? In the first 2 rounds, it was just clinch game, so it was kind of boring. You couldn't read much. But Shavkat kept on trying to implement the single leg, going to the double leg, and he was kind of getting stuffed a little bit. He kept on going for the outside trip when they were against the fence. Ian Garry defended that very well. Even the striking, Shavkat was just headhunting the entire time. Ian Garry was moving so much left to right that you couldn't really like pinpoint and just throw something, or Ian Garry was going to be out of the way of it. Ian Garry did land some very good shots. He was landing a ton of leg kicks, and his striking distribution was pretty even from the head to the body to the legs. Ian Garry is a very good fighter. He's 27 years of age, right? Shavkat just turned 30. I think we're going to see these fighters one day rematch each other. I think Ian Garry, his biggest problem before was his grappling, and it still is a big hole in his game, but I think he has closed the gap on that a lot since training with Charles Oliveira. He had Shavkat in the body triangle for a very long time. Now, when in grappling, when you have a body triangle and you're the bottom guy and you're holding the guy on top, you are just doing that. You're just holding the guy on top, and then it's a 2-on-2 situation, 2 hands versus 2 hands, right? It's not really an advancement in the ground game or a positive thing to work for, but it's good at stalling. He held Shavkat there for a good amount of time, and he couldn't really do much. That's a good, huge benefit right there for Ian Garry. Now he just needs to work towards things to like advance on the ground, right? Whether it's getting his guard back, getting to his knees, then getting up, working his back to the fence, and then working his way up. He needs to start implementing these factors into his fight game, and I think he'll be a lot better. Shavkat versus Belal Muhammad will probably happen in March or April. I still think Shavkat can beat Belal Muhammad. I think Belal is very good at wrestling, but that's all he does. He's not really like a grab you and hold you down wrestler. He's kind of like Merab, where he's just trying to kind of tire you out and out cardio you and work on the takedowns, and then he lets you up, strikes a little bit, works on the takedown. I still think Shavkat, if he can work on his defensive striking and grappling, he can beat Belal still. He just kind of gets hit too much or put in very vulnerable positions where he is the nail sometimes. Even though he might not be getting beat up, he's in a poor situation where he's not really advancing, right? Now, in the featured fight, this fight actually pissed me off. The judges gave this fight to Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane defeats Alexander Volkov in a split decision win, which was super close, but the fans knew it. Dana knew it. He even went to Volkov and said the judges got this wrong. This fight was a robbery. Ciryl Gane did not defeat Alexander Volkov. Volkov did more, landed more, put more damage onto Ciryl Gane than Ciryl Gane did to Volkov. You could argue this fight was 30-27 in favor of Alexander Volkov, not 29-28 Ciryl Gane. First round was kind of close, right? Ciryl Gane did land some good jabs and like some leg kicks to Volkov, but Volkov was landing big body kicks, setting a fight up with his jab. He was pushing Ciryl Gane back in the first round with his jab, throwing a 2 down the middle, and just ripping roundhouse kicks, body kicks, and moving Ciryl Gane back. I thought the first round was close. Let's give it to Ciryl Gane, though, just for this. Just to be nice, right? In the second round, Volkov is literally landing 10 to 15 body kicks that are pushing Ciryl Gane back, landing good jabs. There was only like a couple of strikes Ciryl Gane landed where I was like, oh, that was a good strike. He threw an overhand right to Volkov in the second round, and Volkov was like circling, and you're like, oh, wow, that was like a big shot. But other than that, jabs and body kicks was what was winning this fight for Volkov. Then in the third round, Volkov takes Ciryl Gane down, and he has him like in this like half guard position, and Ciryl Gane literally has like a Kimura, but the Kimura isn't actually like in, right? I don't know how to explain this the best way I can, but although yes, Ciryl Gane had a Kimura, the Kimura, like, he wasn't going to be able to actually fully commit to the Kimura and like submit Volkov in the position they were. One, Volkov had the Kimura trapped, so his arm wasn't going to be pulled out and up. Second, Ciryl Gane was in half guard. And if you don't know this, if you're like a heavyweight fighter and you're in bottom half and you're trying to throw a Kimura up, you have to have a lot of leverage. You have to be up and over. You can't just be on your back, because then you're just holding a submission. Volkov is on top for like 3 minutes in the third round. Maybe the judges thought Ciryl Gane had a submission or was threatening Alexander Volkov with the Kimura, but he wasn't, and that's why they gave the fight to Ciryl Gane. This is so outrageous. This actually pissed me off, because I was like, damn, I'm about to be like 12 for 14 on my picks or whatever, and I get it wrong. I got this fight wrong. This is what pissed me off, and it's like Ciryl Gane has seriously declined as a fighter. He is not, after he fought for the belt and lost to Francis, there was this feeling of like, damn, Ciryl Gane is good, but he's makes some mistakes, but like, he's still legit. Since the Francis Ngannou loss to the champion, it does not feel like Ciryl Gane could be a champion. He makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. He is a big failure in grappling. Gets the heel hook or the straight foot lock against Francis, can't get it, and then Francis just gets on top of him. Then he gets taken down in 2 seconds against John Jones and gets submitted like a clown. And then on the ground against Volkov, he's making these huge mistakes, these big errors against Volkov in bottom half, and he's not doing anything. He's not threatening anything. Like, he's doing white belt shit. I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu, and I can see Ciryl Gane and be like, oh yeah, he's doing white belt shit. He's doing white belt shit in a UFC fight. It does, like, I'm not trying, like, yes, he is a great striker, and I thought he was going to look a lot better on the feet. I would argue Volkov did better on the feet. He looked better on the feet than Ciryl Gane did. Like, yeah, Ciryl Gane beat Volkov the first time, 50-45, outclassed him on the feet. This time, he did not look good. He regressed a lot. His skills are not what we thought they were. Maybe, yes, Volkov has just gotten better, and he's like that next guy. But Ciryl Gane has made a lot of mistakes, not just in grappling, but even in the striking too. Getting hit with big shots, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Ciryl Gane isn't like flowing back and forth on his toes like he used to. When he fought like Volkov the first time, right? Or Tai Tuivasa, or Sergey Spivak. He's not floating back and forth between his feet, landing this 1-2 jab quick, down to the middle body kicks, front kick, teep kick. He's not throwing these strikes like he was against Volkov. Like, he has seriously regressed as a fighter. It is not looking good for Ciryl Gane. And making these white belt fucking mistakes in a UFC fight against Volkov. This should have went to Alexander Volkov. The winner of this needs to fight Tom Aspinall. I hope Ciryl Gane fights against Tom Aspinall next, so Tom Aspinall can finish him and just expose like Ciryl Gane isn't that good. I always liked Ciryl Gane. I always thought, man, this guy's like a fast, good heavyweight, but like he doesn't win anymore, or he hasn't won lately where I'm like convinced he's actually like a top 3 heavyweight. There's still part of me where I'm like, he's like faking it. Like he's not as good or like elite as we think he is, right? Like Tom Aspinall, we know he might not be defensively as great because he's always been the hammer, or we might think or know he has terrible cardio, right? Because we haven't seen him go to the 5th round. But like as of right now, all he has shown us is that he can finish a fight quick. So that's all what we're going to think, right? Ciryl Gane has showed us like, oh yeah, he makes a lot of grappling mistakes. So then you start to think, man, he's not that good on the grappling. So if someone takes him down like a Tom Aspinall or Jailton Almeida, if Jailton Almeida takes Ciryl Gane down, Ciryl Gane might get submitted. That's how bad Ciryl Gane is on the grappling. And then even on the feet, we're thinking like, yeah, Ciryl Gane's good, but like he was getting pushed back because of Volkov's jab and body kicks. What if Tom Aspinall rushes at Ciryl Gane and throws, a head kick or a 1-2? What is Ciryl Gane going to do? Is he going to be able to defend that? So I don't think Ciryl Gane is as good as what we think he is. I want to see Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall, because Tom Aspinall will be the undisputed unified champion because John Jones is going to retire. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane gets another title shot after not really having a set record, but that's fine because he's going to get blown out by Tom Aspinall. Volkov, he shouldn't lose anything. Do Volkov and Jailton Almeida or something next. Let him fight one more and then fight for the belt because he should have won. He should be on a 6-fight win streak now, but no, the judges get it wrong. This was my recap of UFC 310. I hope you enjoyed. I am going to be making a video for next week. Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. That's going to be a great fight. Be sure to like, comment what you thought about UFC 310, who you think Ciryl Gane or Volkov, Pantoja, who should they fight next, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.